What is up, guys? FeelMercy here, and I'm bringing you quite a brief video today. I've been a bit busy, however I still obviously wanted to get one out for you guys. This is my attempt at just trying out a Zaryte bow, doing something a little bit differently. Gone to Armadillo with a Steel Titan, obviously, and taken a Zaryte bow with me. Now, usually when I go to Armadillo, and if I'm soloing, I'll bring obviously a Chaotic Crossbow, a Divine Spirit Shield, full Pernix, and an Accumulator, or an Attractor. Now, I brought the Zaryte bow thinking that it would be a little bit better than it actually is. The Zaryte bow, by the looks of things, is only really good if you want to range slay because of the cost. Really, really cheap, although you have to pay a massive lump sum at the beginning to actually buy the bow itself. The actual shots themselves are very, very cheap. I think they're about 70 GP per shot, which, if you work it out, you know, it's really, really good value for money. So, in terms of bossing, the Zaryte bow isn't that brilliant, apart from DKs, obviously, with the range. I would suggest Zaryte bow for DKs. However, a Chaotic Crossbow is perfect for Dagannoth Kings as well, especially for the way I use it. I don't do Dagannoth Kings requiring a lot of distance because I just camp the middle. I put my cannon out. If you see my video yesterday, I put my cannon out and just basically bombard everything from the middle. I don't really move much. Most people, however, if they do tribrid or they hybrid Dagannoth Kings, they will be ranging prime from afar. So, in that respect, the Zaryte bow could be beneficial at Dagannoth Kings. Also for range slaying because of the cost, obviously, it hits really well for the cost. Also, you don't have to pick up arrows, so you can be wielding a cape. Obviously, you could be using an attractor if you are using bolts. However, you will be having to pick up your bolts, and it's a lot more hassle than it's worth. However, it is nice to know that the attractor does have a +6 range bonus. So if you are looking out for all-out offensive gear for range and not worried about defense at all, I still would, you know, take an attractor or an accumulator or an alerter because they do provide quite a nice attack bonus. The Tokar Cal only has a +3 attack bonus, so you know, if you want that range in offense, then I definitely would suggest a attractor, alerter, or accumulator. So as you can see there, I've also brought my Swift gloves because I hit a double 271. Now that is very rare. You don't really hit. Sometimes when you do fire two, you don't really hit on one. But as you can tell, because I don't have the shield, I'm taking a lot of damage. And I brought 5 brews, and I got through 5 brews in about 20 minutes. So I was getting absolutely destroyed at Armadillo. I did bring the Ring of Wealth switch to see if I could luck out anytime. Unfortunately, I didn't get anything of any importance whatsoever. How I did get dropped to about 300 life points there, as you saw, which, without the Divine, you have a lot greater chance of being KO'd. However, I am in Pernix still, and Pernix, although the defense, magic defense, isn't, you know, overly ridiculously amazing, it provides a life point boost, which makes you relatively safe all of the time. So I also brought Enhanced Excalibur because when I overload, obviously it heals up my overload, my damage taken by overload. But the Zaryte bow isn't worthy of soloing bosses. Of course, the Zaryte bow is useful for next solos because you need the range. Anything that requires range, not the actual skill itself, but actually distance away from a boss or something, or any type of monster, the Zaryte bow is really, really useful. And also it's useful if you're going to be firing a lot of shots, and it's useful for stuff like training, most definitely Slayer as well, and also say Hellhounds, if you're doing them in the resource dungeon and you're using a cannon, the Hellhounds often tend to run away from the cannon, so to get their attention again you can just range them. Also at Troll Invasion, often you get the diseased motherfuckers. They just kind of go away between the cliffs, and you can't get them without getting shat on by rangers. And so in that case, Zaryte bow, crystal bow, anything like that, any bit of decent range, you can shoot them and they'll come towards you, so you don't take some range damage. So if you are thinking of getting a Zaryte bow and you're thinking of doing it for bossing, if you're using it for Dagannoth Kings, I would suggest it. If you're thinking about taking it to Armadillo, that's a no-go, honestly. The Zaryte bow is just not worth it. You definitely need a shield slot if you're at Armadillo. I mean, I'm in full Pernix, so I'm basically in the best gear that you'd be taking to Armadillo without a shield. So, for me to get absolutely decked constantly, it's just not worth it. Unless, of course, you don't bring a Steel Titan and you do bring a Unicorn. But even then, you will still need brews. A Unicorn alone would not be enough to heal you each kill. Even with the food drops, I lasted 20 minutes And that's purely because the Zaryte bow, because it's two-handed, the defense just is not good enough. So overall, the Zaryte bow price at the moment is about 77 mil, and I think it's crashing. I think it's going to about 75 at the moment. It's probably going to crash to about 70, maybe 60 in time. Which, for me, that's not too good. But for you guys, if you are thinking about getting a Zaryte bow, obviously the cheaper it is, the better. And also it means that the lump sum that you're paying out initially to purchase the Zaryte bow is obviously less, and also the arrows will remain the same price, so it will always be about 70 GP per shot. That also does mean, however, that you lose the arrow every time you fire it, whereas if you are using an accumulator, alerter, or a tractor, if you do fire a diamond E-bolt, you do have a chance of keeping that diamond bolt in your quiver. But there is also a chance of you losing a 1.2k diamond E-bolt when you fire it, even if you do have an attractor. So basically it's up to you. You can fire 20 shots of a Zaryte bow to losing one diamond E-bolt. So if you are thinking about getting a Zaryte bow, they are a lot of fun. I do like using an actual bow. For too long in RuneScape, it's been kind of the norm to use a crossbow because you can use a shield. However, the introduction of the Zaryte bow is something it's quite unique. Obviously, it's a really, really enjoyable two-handed weapon to use with range. It's not like a hand cannon. It's just quite a nice animation as well. And with spellcasters, if you see two Zaryte bow arrows flying at your opponent, it's always quite nice to see. There's not really much else for me to say on the Zaryte bow, apart from the fact that obviously, if you are taking it to Armadillo, you really wouldn't. You'd take it, obviously, for Slayer, for Dagon Kings, and for stuff that you need for range. So, yeah, I basically didn't last very long at all. I think that's mainly down to the fact that I don't have a shield slot, and also the fact that cures were slightly longer, because it's just not as accurate. With Rigor and a Chaotic Crossbow, I mean, the Chaotic Crossbow's ranged accuracy is plus 120, the accuracy of a Zaryte bow is plus 115, so you've got that 5 difference, and also the range strength of a Diamond E-Bolt is a lot more as well. So anyways, that's going to conclude the video for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have enjoyed the video, leave a like, and I shall be sure to see you guys sometime tomorrow. So I'm just going to leave you guys with the final little 5 seconds, and yeah, take care.